Hi everyone, I'm Michael Krulik with Avid's Market Solutions, and today we're going to take a look at the latest release of Avid Media Composer, Media Composer 2024.6. We have something for everyone with the new advancements to the transcription functionality in Media Composer, which is a new transcript tool. Wait till you see this. And we also have enhancements with the picture and sound workflows. Yes, we can now take a Pro Tools session for Media Composer, open that up in Pro Tools, and now completing the round trip, you can take a Pro Tools session right back into Media Composer. And we also are introducing a great new product called Avid Huddle for remote collaboration with teams to anybody, anywhere. So stick around, you'll want to definitely take a look at that. Now, before we get started, I do want to send out a big thank you. Thank you to all of the editors, assistants, VFX editors, all of the artists that use Media Composer to create the amazing content that you see. TV shows, films, documentaries, commercials. Again, thank you so much for your talent, and we appreciate that you've chosen Media Composer as your tool of choice to create the amazing content that we all get to see. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in to take a look at what's new in Media Composer 2024.6. Now, before I get into the demo, I do want to provide an overview of what I'll be showing. Now, I mentioned advancements to transcription in the latest version of Media Composer. Now, part of those advancements has to do with how you have control over what is and isn't indexed in your project, which is going to minimize processing power and time. You can choose if a bin should or shouldn't be indexed. Now, why would you index a bin of B-roll or anything without dialogue? You actually make that choice in your project settings. And how do you want your subclips and group clips to be indexed as well? Now, PhraseFind has been upgraded by the power of Avid Ada with the new Transcript Tool. Create a live transcript that is ganged to your source clips that follows along as the clips are being played. You can search through the transcript by words to take you to any instance of what is being said. And you can even edit from the transcript right to the timeline. Collaboration between picture and sound teams has been enhanced with the complete round trip between Media Composer and Pro Tools. Now, we've had the ability to export a Pro Tools session from Media Composer for a while now, but now Media Composer compatible sessions from Pro Tools can easily be opened back into Media Composer. And we have even added the ability to do subframe automation in Media Composer. That's right, you can really fine-tune your audio now between your edits. A special feature has been added as a public preview to Media Composer, allowing for collaboration with VFX and finishing teams. Exporting an open timeline I/O file from Media Composer is still being developed, but we would love for you to try it out and provide feedback. And to collaborate with anyone, anywhere, we offer Avid Huddle as an add-on to all versions of Media Composer. You can choose a monthly or annual plan with the license only required for the editor hosting or playing out their Media Composer content. Any participant can view the content on a computer or mobile device, can make comments, and even draw visual highlights on video frames. Okay, well, enough with the slides. Let's get into the demo. Whether you are working on a scripted or unscripted project, Avid has you covered with several options to sync video to the written word, or, most recently, create transcripts from your media or sequences. Giving a boost to our new AI-enhanced PhraseFind and Script Sync, powered by Avid Ada, has definitely taken editing to the next level. And in the most recent release, we've taken it even further. Here is the new Transcript Tool that provides a real-time display of source clip transcriptions, including timecode and speaker ID. This is a dockable window that you can add to a workspace if you wish. Transcripts are generated in the background as media is added into your project. If the transcript needs to be generated, you will get a prompt. When you have a clip loaded into the source monitor and the transcription is available, the source monitor's playhead is ganged to the transcript.
Because people don't necessarily want to wait for you to figure out how to get the wrench to change the plumbing. You're like, well, how's this wrench work?
You will see this by the bold green text.
Let's go.
Clicking on any word in the transcript will take you directly to that point in your clip.
And to be able to...
And watch when the clip is played. The words follow what is being said. Now, if you don't want the text to follow, you can deselect the gang button to stop it from tracking while the clip is playing.
Really rewarding.
And of course, the gang button can be mapped to a keystroke for immediate access.
And to be able to get people to fall in love with her.
You can also use the search field in the bottom of the Transcript tool to step through all instances of words or phrases in the transcript.
And I love the character of Mabel.
Stepping through the transcript with the arrow buttons or keys gives you a great view of the entire transcript to see if that may be the instance that you're actually looking for. Now, I know you're thinking, well, can you make edits from the transcript? Well, yes, you can. By selecting text from the transcript, you will see corresponding in and out marks as applied in the source clip. Click and drag from the source window or use the insert and overwrite keys to add these edits to any open sequence in your timeline. And when it comes to identifying the speakers in your clip, you can right-click on the speaker number in the transcript and choose to identify the speaker or correct a speaker ID. Choose from a list of previously identified names from the current project, or choose to rename the speaker. This can be completed by double-clicking on the speaker label. These speaker IDs will be reflected in the transcripts if you choose to export them from the transcript feature. I think you can see that the new features with the Transcript tool are pretty amazing. Its new functionality built into the PhraseFind option powered by Avid Ada. The option can be added to the basic version of Media Composer, or it is included with Media Composer Ultimate and Media Composer Enterprise. You can still use PhraseFind to look for clips where someone says the word, and it gives you the results of any and all media from the project where it may find a match.
It's a craft that editing is an invisible art.
And you can also use the new Transcript tool to find where someone says the word within the entire source clip. The choice is yours.
If it's done well, you're not.
Now, you may be asking yourself, with the ability to see the transcripts of your media, how does Media Composer handle group clips and subclips? Now, the processing power and time of creating the transcripts and looking at the media, well, you have control of that and how it's done within Media Composer. You can choose to have subclips and groups reference the transcripts of each of your master clips. Through the Transcript Settings menu under the Projects tab, select whether you want Media Composer to ask if you want to use the master clip transcript, or do you want to transcribe and use the subclip or group individually. Again, the choice is yours. You also can choose which bins in your project should or shouldn't require transcription, limiting computer resources being used unnecessarily. To the right of each bin in your project, you will see if the transcription for the bins is set on or off. Select the bin or bins that you want to change, right-click, and choose whether you want to turn the transcription on or off. There is a new option in the Transcript Settings window to include all bins in transcription. If this setting is unchecked, all new bins will be excluded from transcription automatically. Now, I know you're going to be very excited about this. We've been working really hard on getting the workflow together between the picture and sound teams. And in recent versions of Media Composer, we were able to export a Pro Tools session directly from Media Composer with the picture and sound in one single PTX file. Well, in Media Composer 2024.6, we're completing the process with a complete round trip from Media Composer to Pro Tools and from Pro Tools back into Media Composer. Export a Pro Tools session directly from Media Composer that includes a mixdown video for visual reference, any markers that you may want to provide to the audio team, and the audio tracks and clips with effects and keyframing. Now, this session can be opened in the latest version of Pro Tools to see the video track, cut tracks, markers, and a rendered folder, unrendered folder, and rendered only folder of audio. We'll go into one of the audio clips and add in some keyframes with the Draw tool and save my new session as a Media Composer compatible file creating a new .ptxm extension that can be imported back into Media Composer through either the source browser, linking to the file, or dragging and dropping the file directly into a bin. Now, of course, you're only getting audio information from the .ptxm file, so you can simply cut that under your video tracks and all of the audio aligns. Aligning with the marker support in Pro Tools, marker colors in Media Composer 2024.6 has been expanded to 16 colors. And as you edit audio in Media Composer, being able to remove words, edit music, and hide audio edits with subframe accuracy provides the best possible results. To that point, reading and writing with subframe automation for volume and pan controls is now available in Media Composer and provides greater compatibility with Pro Tools. Now, there are several formats that Media Composer sequences can be saved as and sent to other applications for color and finishing. Now, we are very excited to be participating in the open source community around Open Timeline I/O, or OTIO. Now, it is an evolving function and feature in Media Composer, so in Media Composer 2024.6, we are offering it as a public preview. Exporting an OTIO file is done through the Media Composer list tool. You can load the current sequence into the list tool, or drag and drop the sequence directly into the list tool panel. From the pull-down list, choose OTIO and preview the file. Now, this file can be edited in the list tool if you desire, or exported as the Open Timeline I/O file that may include multiple tracks of video and audio, and is primarily intended for VFX and online workflows, which require an extensible and easily translatable system for quick turnovers. And the cherry on top of this Avid Media Composer release is the introduction of Avid Huddle, which takes collaboration and content review to the next level. So rather than exporting a file from Media Composer and distributing it to your producers, directors, or other team members and waiting for them when they have time to send you any feedback, what Avid Huddle does is it sends the output of Media Composer through SRT and Microsoft Teams to anybody, anywhere. Now, anybody who's collaborating with you in real time using Avid Huddle can go in and add comments or annotations, can also draw on frames, and all of this happening in real time. Now, recently I did an overview of Avid Huddle with my Avid colleague, Matt Fury. Let's go ahead and take a look and see Avid Huddle in action. Okay, so the really cool thing about Avid Huddle is that I don't have to leave Avid Media Composer. So here I have a sequence from the television show The Orville that I actually want to, let Matt take a look at. I'm currently in Maryland right now in a hotel room. I have been working a little bit here, and I want to be able to show this to Matt. So I'm going to use Avid Huddle. Within Media Composer, under Tools, you'll see Avid Huddle. Through here, I'm going to log into my Avid account. That's where it is licensed, or that's where the administrator has given me access to my Avid Huddle license. Again, only the person in Media Composer, only the host, is the one that needs the license. Anybody who's a participant can just use Microsoft Teams to see what I'm going to be streaming out of SRT through Media Composer. So through this window here, I'm going to actually start an Avid Huddle session through Microsoft Teams. So this is where you access and enter your Microsoft Teams account. And I'm going to launch Avid Huddle in Teams. So I am going to join a meeting, or I'm going to set up a meeting here within Teams, which is going to be used for my Avid Huddle session, my meeting with Michael Krulik. We'll go ahead and set that up. Now, we could actually be in a meeting and I could initiate the Huddle session, but here I'm going to start, as myself. I'm going to create the Avid Huddle session. I could copy a meeting link to send to people, or I could add participants here. But at this point, I'm just going to go in and through Huddle, I'm going to start sharing my screen. And in Media Composer, this is where you're going to turn on SRT and start your Huddle session. So by clicking the button right here to enable the stream, that actually is going to be sent through Microsoft Teams, and this is where you're going to see the high-quality video where anybody who is a participant in my Huddle session will see. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start adding participants. So under People, I can start, asking or inviting anybody to come in. So let's search for Matt Fury. We'll request him to join. But basically, again, you could bring it in from anybody who is currently in your team or anybody external. You could send them a link to this. But let's see if Matt's available and is going to join the session right now.
All right. Looks like Michael's ready to meet. Hey, Michael.
There he is. Hey, Matt. How you doing?
I'm good. What do you got for me?
Well, I have this piece here, a little bit of the Orville. I just, I'm playing around with a little bit of it. But I just want you to take a look at, mainly there's a little surprise at the end here that I want you to make note of.
There's always a surprise at the end.
No big surprise, but feel free to make any comments. Just telling everybody here who's watching, these comments, you can make annotations while this is being playing because there is time code accuracy. You do have the time code in the bottom portion of the Huddle session. You can see that so that when you do type and hit enter, that note or that timestamp is brought into the Huddle session that we'll be able to actually bring back into Media Composer. And we'll also be able to do drawings. But at least at this point, Matt, it's just you and I just want you to take a look at this piece. We're just going to watch through it and then we'll go back and, take a look at different segments. But let's go ahead and here we go. You ready?
I'm ready. Isaac? Okay, you got me with that one.
We'll go ahead and take a look. We'll go back through there and see if there's any places you want to stop. We'll go back to the beginning. You, as you can see, you did start making some comments. That looks great. Thank you.
I got excited.
But, I know that there's some areas. I think, I will check, I'm going to make a note to check the audio levels through this as well. Just a little note. But what I want to show is as we're typing, these annotations and marks are part of the Avid Huddle session. We're seeing them here. They are time-stamped. We'll be able to take those and bring them back into Media Composer as markers. But we can also draw on the screen as well. And I do want to point out, like the little surprise here with the robot. How do you feel about that? A little shocker, a little surprise.
I liked it, but go back before he transitions to whatever that is. Okay, so I want to make a comment here. All I have to do is just click this little button and captures that screen. And that's fine if I just wanted to make a note about that frame for whatever reason. But I actually want to do some intra-frame commentary. So I believe, Michael, you taught me I just have to hit draw. Then I can go in here and say, all right, well, these eyes right here, you can sing along if you want there, Michael. I want to make a note specifically about those. I want those to be green before they change to red.
Okay.
There you go.
So the cool thing everyone should be able to see here is Matt is taking control. He's drawing. Again, this is a collaborative live session. So at any point, anybody can take control and draw on the frame, and those drawings also become part of a session summary at the end that we'll be able to print out. So we have all the comments, all the drawings and stuff that we'll be able to use as reference. But, again, just taking a look through here, any parts, maybe, bring down the brightness. Any sort of comment that we add here is something that is added as commentary to add to the session. And the cool thing here is, many times, I think we mentioned this in part of the presentation before, I don't have to create a QuickTime file or anything, send it to Matt, have to wait for him to, send me any comments, notes, or feedback. We're doing this live. It's something where this can be to anybody in any part of the world to be able to see this, whether it's on their phone, on their computer. They're all part of the Avid Huddle session.
Nice. All right, so we made our notes.
Just out of curiosity, I'm just seeing it on my computer as I'm inside a Media Composer and through the team session. What sort of experience do you have on your end?
It's been great. Everything looks great. Sounds good on this side. The notes are right down to the frame. I got to make my little eyes comment. That was fun. Now that we made the comments, though, and we're kind of done talking about this, then what?
Well, I actually want to go in, and when I close the session, I want to save these notes. But the neat thing is, when I do select close session, not just the person who's hosting the session, but anybody on here should see in the window, the session's been closed. Do you want to save the session summary as text for markers? And do you want to save it as a PDF with the actual frame? So Matt, why don't you go ahead and, make a selection?
Okay, so I'm going to use export PDF because markers is more for you. There it is. Cool. All right, so I have a nice little PDF report with timestamps, who made the comment, what the time code was, what the comment was, and also all those images that we captured in the drawings we made. They're all there.
Cool. So, Matt, I think it looks like I have a little bit more work to do. So I'll actually go back and I'll import those comments back into Media Composer and show everybody what that looks like.
Well, yes, Matt is right. I mean, the markers are more important for me in the edit bay because I want to see the markers inside of my Media Composer timeline. So I can go to the marker window and import those directly into my sequence from the Avid Huddle session. You will also see some controls in the Microsoft Teams window while you're in your Avid Huddle session. You'll see at the bottom of the viewer, there is a slider. You can actually control the level of the audio that's being heard, which is nice. And you could also go full screen, take the window and make it as large as possible just to give you a better experience.
There's some really great new features and functions in the latest release of Avid Media Composer. Just a quick summary, we have the Transcript Tool, which is part of the PhraseFind option for Media Composer, which lets you load a source clip into the source monitor and see and play in real time the transcript and have it follow along, being able to search for words and phrases and even edit from the transcript directly into your Media Composer timeline. We have complete picture and sound workflows, the round trip from Media Composer to Pro Tools and back again. That's amazing. And we have the introduction of Avid Huddle, being able to remotely collaborate with anybody, anywhere, sending the output of Media Composer through SRT and seeing it in Microsoft Teams. Now, if this is your first time seeing Media Composer and you want to try out any of these features, you can go to our website, avid.com, and download a free trial of the Media Composer software. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you again soon.